Hi, I'm Michael Rock, and I'm auditioning to be the new host of the Foundr Magazine Podcast. As an autistic self-advocate and as a freelance journalist, I have interviewed a wide variety of different people, from other advocates to local politicians to community advocates to children to doctors to business developers to dogs. My work has appeared in a number of different publications, such as Chelsea Now, Our Town, Kings County Politics, Who, What, Why, and Queens County Politics. Joining me today is Daniel Passantino, the founder and CEO of Bottle to Vase.
Thank you, Michael.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
So, tell me more about your company. How did you decide to establish this particular company?
Well, it kind of was something I stumbled into. I was involved in a program run by the local Jewish community center that was employing people with disabilities. They were actually producing glasses from bottles that we were finding in recycle bins. Cut off the top of the bottle, grind the edge shut, grind the edge nice and smooth, and you've got a glass. So I did that for a couple of years, or I guess no, it was actually a much shorter time. It was only 6 months, half a year, and then I set off on my own with my own business, which I learned the skills to do there.
Interesting. Could you tell me a bit more about this additional business?
The additional business is the bottle to vase aspect, where I went from grinding glasses to making the glasses just a bit taller, so that they'd be vases, and then engraving them with designs using a sandblaster.
Interesting. So, can you tell me a little bit more in depth about how you make it? So you say you cut them off. That can be used to use a sandblaster to cut off the top, or what kind of tools or devices do you use?
Actually, I use a small metal wheel to scratch the glass. Then a little baked Alaska torch to heat up the score line. Top cracks off, and after that I go to Brooklyn at Urban Glass Studios, rent the shop for a few hours, and grind off the edge. The sandblasting is the hard part. So
interesting. What makes the sandblasting so difficult?
Well, I brought an example of one of my pieces.
Beautiful.
Today.
I like this.
So thank you. So over here you can see that it's got a lot of details on it.
Yes.
All very small, and these are actually created in reverse with tape.
Wow, that's
really I use
fascinating.
a single tape line for each of the lines here, sometimes more than one. So after I do all of that, I put it in the sandblaster, which essentially carves it in low relief onto the glass. So the pattern after that point is permanent, doesn't rub off any. And so it'll last. But the downside of that method is that you never have anything left of the tape afterwards.
Of course.
Chewed up. So it's a one-time thing.
Of course. In terms of this industry, in terms of what you do, this creative business of yours, what would you say were some of the things that you never would have expected to have learned about what you do for work had you not actually gotten into it?
I'd say conservatively all of it. I actually had no formal artistic training. I've been to the museums in Manhattan a lot, but I had never actually made art myself. I've actually got a hand tremor, so it's very difficult for me to do most forms of art, and this one, I guess the tape is just easier for me to guide than most things.
Interesting.
So I was able to do art and discovered I could do it at rather late age for it, I guess.
Hey, better late than never, right?
I guess.
Yes,
so.
Of course. And do you have any words or anything you would like to tell anybody who's be wishing to go to a creative field such as what you do? Any pieces of advice?
Unfortunately, I'd say treat it as a hobby. There does not, the art market is kind of an odd thing, it seems. There's very little opportunity to sell crafts in the city, or I believe elsewhere, but certainly not in the city. There's limited number of fairs and not all that much demand. Find something handmade is pretty. A lot of the people who get the vase will then keep it around and will pay more than they did for the first for the second. But selling the first piece even at $40 or $80 is a challenge.
Yes, no,
You can go on Amazon and get something else for $1.
Of course. I mean, what would you say, even if that's the case, what would you say to possible consumers about why they should do business with you rather than a competitor such as, say, Amazon or eBay?
Well, they're not direct competitors necessarily. The issue is that it's a matter of convincing someone that there's a difference between something that's made by hand or even something that's made intentionally to be beautiful and something that's just made to be inexpensive.
Of course.
So the question is, if you just want a blank vase, are you really getting all you can out of the item? The vases that I make are all different, they're unique, and you can see that you can leave it out even without flowers in it. Mm-hmm. And you can also have it there, and a lot of people say they like it. It greets them when they get home every day, which I find a little funny, but some of them seem to get very personally attached to the vases, and it makes a lot of people very happy to have it.
Of course, and tell me more about how you promote, like, your website, your social media. Could you tell me more about that?
I must say I am not a good person to ask about social media. I do maintain a website.
Sure, could you tell us your
my
handles?
URL?
Your handles.
Well, I actually have a all-in-one thing. I made this beautiful banner for my website, bottle2vase.com, which is in reverse because it's on the television.
Oh, well.
But at any rate, it's bottle2vase, and you can also see with this diagram the steps from bottle to cut bottle to partially decorated bottle to completely sandblasted and done bottle that I would then sell. Well, at that point it's a vase, rather.
That's very impressive.
But no one's ever quite said whether it's a vase or a vase. It seems to be a very big philosophical divide among everybody.
Fair. Well, Daniel, it's been great interviewing you. I've learned a lot about your business, some of the rewards and challenges of what you do. I think this has been a very productive interview, and I think I have a good feeling that hopefully soon enough your work will gain its recognition. Thank you so much.
In the neighborhood, it has to an extent, so I'm actually pleased. It's helped me connect with the community.
Of course.
So that was a good thing about it.
Thank you so much once again, and we will talk soon, I'm sure.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Have a good one.